Come on. Got my hand in there, making sure it's recording something. All right, we're going to draw a big old pumpkin, not a little old pumpkin. This is not the little time for micro pumpkins. This time for a big pumpkin. So to do this, I'm going to get my hand going in the motion I want it to go, and I'm going to lightly, and I'll get you going here in just a second. I'm going to draw kind of a big oval. So now I kind of got started what I want. Don't draw this too dark to start with. Now, if yours turns out more of a circle than an oval, that's not the end of the world. That's okay. But we kind of have to do an oval because why? Our paper is longer than it is tall. And I don't want just a circle in the middle. I want it reaching close to each edge. That's why it's more of an oval. Now, as long as you draw this and it doesn't have any corners on it, because there's no corners on an oval and there's no corners on a circle, as long as there's no corners, you're going to be all right. But if you got corners on your oval or your super large circle, you're going to have to round it out. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to get that drawn. If yours is like wide at this end and a little tiny narrow at the other end, you want to make sure they're both big on both ends. Okay. Now, if you absolutely have tried your bestest, hardest, and it's still turning out looking like a jelly bean or something, you can bring it to me real quick. We just want to make sure everybody's good before we jump in. Raise your hand if you need more time getting that oval on there. Okay, I'll give you a second. That's why I ask. Let me see what you've got. Make sure you got something on.
Oh, it was looking like a jelly bean, so I erased it.
No, give me a drawing. I correct your drawings. I don't correct your blank paper. All right. Just need to come wider at the bottom. So. Get rid of that corner that you drew on it.
Yeah. My hand was super shaky on that.
Last Mountain Dew.
Okay.
All right, and just kind of bring that together right there like that. Okay? There's going to be a little off to the side, but that's okay. Hurry up. Anybody else got one? You're all right, looks like. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. All right, it appears that we've got them all, so now we're going to move on. Right, turn around. If I see your face again, I'm going to lose my mind. I need you facing the screen. All right, so now I got my pumpkin shape on here. Here's where it gets a little bit weird, and that's why you need to pay attention. We're going to the middle, and we're going to do the middle section of the pumpkin. Now, a lot of you, the way you've drawn pumpkins over the years, you start right here and you draw a line all the way to the bottom. Then you start right here and draw a line. That's not what we're doing. We're going to come, if this is the very middle, we're going to go a little bit left of the middle, and I'm going to draw a line that curves and stops right there. And then I'm going to draw another line that curves and gets close to it, and it stops. Now make sure your line curves and it's not a straight line. See how much distance there is between here and the top? That's really important. So it's just basically a couple of parentheses. Parentheses are not straight, they curve. And that was so much fun, we're going to draw another one. We're going to come over here about halfway between this one and this one. Hopefully you drew this wide enough. Now, some of you, if you made this skinny and you draw halfway between, you're still going to have a lot of pumpkin left. So if that's the case, you might have to draw an extra line. So I'm coming along the bottom. I'm bringing it up. Nice curved line. Curved line, curved line. This one will be just a little taller than the one that I just did. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Make it a little bit taller. Bring it around. Notice I curve and turn my paper. Okay? It already looks pretty pumpkin-y. And if you're from Minersville, you should be real familiar with this thing. Their nickname is the Pumpkin Rollers. So, yep, that's a nickname for Minersvillians. Uh-oh, you got it narrow at one end? It's a learning process on this one, so we're going to call this the practice run, okay? Very, yeah. Okay, everybody look at the screen. There's too much talking. Look at the screen. We got some things we got to do. We need to close this off, so I'm going to bring it up here. I'm not going to bring it to a point. I'm going to round it off at the top, just like that. So let's round it off. Okay, round it off the middle, then I'm going to go over here and round this one off, and I'm going to hook it to the middle. So I'm going to come along here, round it off, and bring it right to the middle right there, and I'm going to do the same thing over here and bring this over, round it off right to the middle. Now I got 3 sections of pumpkin right here, with their groovy groove in between each one. Hopefully we don't lose anybody on the next stuff we're going to do. We're just kind of getting the shape on there. Anybody need more time with what we just did? Okay. Okay, if you need more time, make sure you're drawing. Except get rid of the corner, it's rounded. Okay, now we're going to do the last sections on the front. So this one comes up, we're going up the side, just like this, doot, 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 and then we're going to curve that over into this one. So just come right up the edge of your pumpkin and curve that in right there. Do the same thing over here. Just going to curve it in. Uh-oh. Pencil went for a walk, didn't invite me. All right, here we go. Curve that in. So everything's got a nice curve. There is not a hard corner anywhere on the drawing. It's all rounded off lines, okay? So round, 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 round it off, okay? If you got a corner somewhere, trim it up, get rid of that angle, make it round. Now the lines we're going to do after this, we're going to do kind of light because we got to draw over some of it, so we don't want to draw them too dark. So hopefully we're about ready. Okay, now we're going to put 3 more sections in and then we'll be done sectioning it off. So I'm going to come from right here and I'm going to bring a curved line in, but I'm not going to bring it all the way down. Just going to curve it towards the center. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing, curve this towards the center. So whatever I'm doing on one side, I do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so just whoop, like that, coming towards the center. And I want that one just a little shorter, I think. Now we got to make sure this last line we do is really light because we're going to erase part of it. Right. Thank you. Okay, this last one, we got this line right here. I'm just gonna make mine a little bit rounder is all. Just coming up and bring it over, because mine was a little flat. So I'm gonna erase that flat line on. I don't want that very dark though, because I'm gonna draw over it here in a second. And it's just barely rounded. I'm not putting like a tumor on it. Make sure it doesn't stick way out. Now we can finally get away from the pumpkin for a minute. We're going to put the stem on it. I like the stem because it's fun. Okay, to draw the stem, I'm going to come from over here, and I'm just going to curve a line up. So I'm just going to come along here and go just like this, and curve that line up. And it goes right over that line. That's no big deal. Then on this side, to give it some width, I'm going to do a line that parallels that line right there, part way down. Okay, don't draw it all the way down, just follow what I'm doing. This one went all the way to the top. Up here, this one stops about midway back down. And then I'm going to bring a line coming from this one and curve it up to this, just like that, just so they kind of come together with a nice curve right there. Once we have that, we got some racing to do. So we're going to come in here and get rid of these lines inside of it now, because I don't want them. You need to go away, because our stem is in front of the back part of the pumpkin. I can darken this in now because I know where I want it. It's okay to go dark now. Okay, that just makes it very easy for you to see. And this stem's going to look pretty cool because we're going to do a couple of things to it here in just a second. Does anybody need more time to get to this point of completion? I just need to know, okay? All right, I'll give you just a second to get there. And then we're going to do a couple more things on this stem. Then we're going to start making this look like more of a two-dimensional pumpkin. Okay, to finish the stem off, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come not up to the top here. We're going to come just a little bit below it. Look, everybody look up there. We're going to come a little below the top, and I'm going to draw a parallel line. Goes all the way to the top. Parallels this line. This line and this line parallel each other. Then I'm going to draw another one down here that's lower than the top, and it's going to parallel that line. I'm going to turn my paper this way because it's easier for my hand to curve that way. Just like that. Then I'm going to rumor zoom this in. This thing is so weird today. It has not been acting right, but hopefully this works. Okay, now you can see the top of my stem. Uneven lines, that's what we want. So then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go just put a couple little, like the letter M, okay? And right here, I'm going to put an upside down V and connect this one with that one. And I'm going to bring this line to that and bring this one down below it, just like that. And now we have the little broken top. And it kind of looks like, if you're looking at Batman and Robin, it looks like Robin's little mask. Right there. But what we're trying to make it look like is where the stem broke off. Okay? Yeah, it's quite good. All right, now we're going to back off again. This is going to come back up and over. All right, now the fun part. Okay, that was just getting our basic drawing on there. We've been practicing coloring since the beginning of the school year. So with the side of our pencil, we're going to come along and we're going to color in this center part. Don't go too dark. Try to keep your lines close together so it's not a big scribble mess. Follow the shape of your outer line. So if I go this way on this side, I'll turn it over and go this way on this side. Meaning I'm following the lines. Don't go counter to the line. Does everybody understand what I mean, I hope? So this is not the time where you would color it this way, okay? Or this way. You follow the lines around. Using the side of my pencil because I get a wider line and I can go faster. Trying to keep my lines close together so it doesn't look like nasty scribble everywhere. Then when we get to the bottom, I'm just going to curve it around. And connect it with what I've done. I'm going to do the same thing at the top. Again, I'm following that outer line. So I'm curve, 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 curve. I'll let you get to that point because then we got like this big old oval thing going on in the middle. We're going to do some more coloring on it. I just want to get at least that outer edge done. Don't color right in the middle. Okay? So now I'm going to start to close this gap a little bit. But I am not going to fill in the very center of it. Okay, I shouldn't hear hard coloring going on because we don't want this too dark. So it should be going on the light side. Again, filling in the bottom a little bit, curving it around. Curving around the top. Okay, now you notice as I'm doing this, that white part in the middle is getting smaller and smaller. That's what we want. Smaller and smaller, but I don't want to completely fill it in. Now if we get too dark, it's going to kind of mess everything up, so we want to try to avoid getting too darn dark with it. What? Yeah, it will. We'll cut it out later. Yep. Have to stay tuned, see how that's going to happen. All right. So that one is as far as we're going to take it, and then we're going to do these two. And the method I show you for this and these two, then the rest will kind of go on just a repeat as we go around. So that's why we need to get this one, and then we'll go to the next one. Has everybody got theirs colored in now? Okay, so I saw some heads shake no. So I'll wait a second. Can't wait to use the Kleenex on this because it makes it look so much cooler. So we're going to just jump over and do this one on the left right now. Same way that we did before, following the shape. Just coloring it in, color it in, color it in, color it in, color it in. Keep turning it. I'm going to color up this side and just following the shape around. Now in this case, I'm not going to worry about leaving the middle all white. I might leave it a little lighter than the rest, but it doesn't need to necessarily be white. Mostly I just want to make sure I got it colored in pretty even. Now whatever I do with this one on the left, the same thing would happen on this section on the right. Okay, so right now, just worry about getting it colored in. Try to make it not look like a bunch of scribble. Now if there's a little bit of scribble, that's okay, but if there's a lot of bittle, that's not good. Okay, here's where the big change comes in, and this is where it starts to make it look more two-dimensional. Right along this edge, not on this section, but on this section, we're going to go along the edge here, and we're going to make it a little darker. I'm going to make that a little bit wider. This is kind of the seam between the sections of the pumpkin. And I'm going pretty dark with this. I want it to stand out from the color that I've already put on so far, the light gray. From top to bottom. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our Kleenex, and this will make this all kind of come together. Raise your hand if you need just a little more time to get to this point. Okay, don't see any hands, so now we're going to do the Kleenex part. So, like we did before, just fold it up so you can get a nice little corner. Makes it easier to control. We just need to have a nice little corner like that so that we can control the edge of where we're going to rub on this. Now, instead of going around and around like when we did clouds and stuff, we're going to follow the direction that we went with our lines. Okay? So I'm going to come along here. Don't get in that dark part out there. I'm going to go right up to the edge of that dark part. But I don't want to rub in it. And I'm going to smooth that pumpkin section out. And then as I get to the middle where it's white, I'm going to not press as hard. Just basically lift up. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing on this side. Now you got to be careful that you don't go and rub all over the middle part and make it cancel out. We just want a little bit lighter. And by pressing less hard, it goes kind of slightly from dark to light. And it makes it a really soft center in the middle, just like that. Okay, it's not as, you remember before we started rubbing it, you could really see where the middle light spot was. It was like a hard edge there. Now it's hard to tell where the edge is. It just gets a little lighter gradually, just like it would on a real pumpkin. So hopefully you got a little lighter spot right here. Just slightly lighter. It should be really subtle.
Pardon the interruption, but Boyd, do I have an offer for you? If you need some seat time, you can come to lunch duty right now. Mr. Clark will give you lots of seat time. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, yeah, everybody don't jump at once. Like, yeah, seat time, yes. Okay, let's go over here to this section right here. I'm trying to stay away from this dark part for right now. So I'm just going to come over here and rub along this edge. Trying to be careful. Then I'll turn it back this way and I'll get right up to the edge of where that dark part is, and then I'll wait for you guys to get caught up, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with that dark part. And we just basically want that light glow right in the middle. It's not as important. I mean, technically we could put a little bit out here, but it's really not that important because we're going to cut a lot of this out when we put the eyes and mouth and nose and all that on here. So right now, it looks like kind of a rounded section in the middle because we have a highlight in the center and just kind of a flat gray right here. We're going to change that with what we're going to do next. And this is why we put this dark part here. Hopefully you didn't make it too skinny. Now we're going to come along and we are going to rub on this dark part. I'm going to take it right up to the edge. I'm rubbing pretty hard and I'm bringing it out onto this direction. I'm pushing it this way. So as I rub it, I'm pulling back this way. And what that does, instead of just looking like a black line on there, now it looks like a shadow being cast from the centerpiece. And I got to rub pretty hard to get that to work like that because I don't want to see like a hard edge out in here. I'm just softening it with that Kleenex. Look how cool that looks now. Now it looks like a section that you could actually grab and another section that you could actually grab. That's what we're trying to create right there. Now if it didn't quite turn out that way on yours, try to figure out, okay, what did you do different from the demonstration and what have you got to do different when you come over here to this side? Okay. That looks pretty good. Just rub a little harder on this edge right here, okay, to try to get that edge off. All right, now we're going to go over here and we'll hop over here and do this side because it's the same thing as we did over there. It's just going the other way. So we'll color this one in. Remember, do the black part, dark part last. Follow your contours. Follow the shape of your lines. Don't go the other way. Hopefully you got a big old fat pumpkin started on your paper, not a little bitty micro pumpkin. And hopefully you're starting to understand why it's important you don't get too dark to start with, because if you do, when you go to put this on there, it doesn't show up. Now, if you talk to kids that have taken this class before, if you got siblings, friends, somebody that took this in 7th grade, guarantee you they never got to do this. You're breaking new ground. Okay, again, after you got it colored in pretty even, then you come over here and you make that dark edge. say, we're just repeating what we did before, but it's just going the other way now. So I'll come along here and soften this all up. That's not us. That's the lucky graders. That's the high school kids. Oh, going to lunch. You guys will get your chance soon. Okay, so I've smoothed it out just like I did the other side. Now I come in here and do that dark part and rub really, really hard and pull it away from. So this time I'm pulling it this way, okay, away from the center. I don't want a hard edge to the right edge of that dark. There was a hard edge when I started, but the whole goal with this Kleenex is to rub it out and make it go away. The only place there should be a hard edge is right along there and right along here, but not in either one of these. I think we got time to do one more section and then we'll start to clean up probably. We might get two, but we'll get at least one. Let's come over here, color this one on the left. And if you're still working on the one that you were working on, go ahead, keep working on it, because we're not going to do anything earth-shattering. We're just coloring this in. Just like we have, we're just happen to be doing the one on the far left side. And I'm going to show you something that really happened that you won't believe, because to this day I still can't figure out what that person's brain was doing. But I'll show you here in just a second what I'm talking about. We're getting this all colored in, following their shape. Okay, it's all colored in now. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to make that dark edge. At this point, you should kind of know what you're doing, because we know we colored it in, we know we need to smoothen it up, and then we do the dark edge last. So I'm just coming in, smoothing it up. The reason we do that dark edge last is we don't want to get too dark out here in the lighter part. And if we started with the dark edge and then tried to rub out here, it's going to get too dark. Now we'll go in there and do that. You'll know whether your fingers are oily and greasy and stuff because you'll have fingerprints everywhere when you start to rub. Everybody's going to have some because everybody's got some oil on their fingers, but you'll kind of learn where to put your fingers and where not as you go. I went a little outside my line, so I'm just going to come in with my eraser and clean it up. That's what erasers are for. Okay, now I want everybody to look up here because this, I do not know what this person was thinking. Okay, so somebody was in class and I was doing this demonstration. They're like, oh, cool, we do the light part, then we do the dark part, then we do the light part, then we do the dark part. Cool, so I'm going to come over here and I'll do a dark part here. Don't go putting a big old black line on the outer edge. This black edge, darker line, is where it overlaps. It's not overlapping anything out here in outer space. So hopefully you all are a little bit smarter than that person, because I still, to this day, I'm going, what were you doing? You're putting a shadow where there's nothing. Okay. Look at that. That looks so good right now. I hope yours is looking pretty good too. I'll take a peek at them here in just a second because we're gonna have you put your stuff up. Good job today.